Hi, my name is Iqbal. So today our group wants to review and discuss the article related to the issue of tax administration in Malaysia.
So in this video, we will cover the article identification, introduction, what is the subject matter for this article, the objective of this article, tax audit, tax evasion, tax compliance behavior, tax compliance, and the conclusion.
Now, let me introduce to you article identification. The title is Tax Compliance Behavior of Individual with Business Income in Malaysia, a conceptual paper. Then, this article is written by Putri Nurliana, and this article was published on 15 November 2020. Next, we move to the introduction. Based on the article, the general information that we read is the taxation of individual group with business income give a significant challenge to the tax authority given the size and diversity of the group. As at 31st May 2020, the total business registered consists of sole proprietorship and partnership with Companies Commission of Malaysia are more than 7.7 million, while the total companies registered are more than 1.3 million. To better understand this group, the tax compliance study is important to identify the factors that affect the taxpayer behavior.
Okay, what is the subject matter for this article? The first one is focus on individual with business income, since this group tend to involve in tax evasion much easier compared to salaried group. The second one is in the self-assessment system, tax is collected based on the amount reported in the tax return form submitted by the taxpayer. And the third one is the tax audit cases are not only selected randomly but also carefully chosen through risk identified from detailed data analysis. And the last one is to make sure that the tax collected are correct, tax audited is performed on a regular basis.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Chris. Today, I will tell you the objective of our article. The first goal is to examine the impact of individual perception on tax fairness and enforcement level. The second goal is determining the tax compliance behavior. And the last goal is target simple is individual with business income.
So hi, my name is Aidit Izani. So this is basically the issue related to tax administration. So tax audit is one of the main activities in Inland Revenue Board Malaysia. The tax audit activities are divided by three approaches, which is tax audit, field audit, and investigation. The decision on which approach to use on each case is determined by the compliance level, risk level. At the strategic level, this study aims to introduce the relevant analysis to the current setting to improve the efficiency in case selection process through better assessment on each taxpayer. The program developed is to ensure the compliance behavior of taxpayer. This study aims to assist the tax audit in carry out the tax auditing procedure by taking into consideration the factors that is affecting tax compliance behavior in determining the proper tax payment. The study on factor of tax compliance can explain the psychological and behavioral mechanisms that determine taxpayers' compliance level. One way to promote the tax compliance is through tax audit. In a risk-based tax auditing environment, the key principle of risk-based audits is on audit case selection method, which must include identification of taxpayers who are most likely to be non-compliant, that is, who have the highest possibility to yield a large amount of audit adjustment and penalties. The tax administration Audit selection is based on risk scoring techniques comparable to those used in banking and insurance. Some researchers use the term risk rating.
Okay, for a summary of the key point of tax evasion is the legal effort through dishonest tactics to bypass or frustrate tax laws such as deliberate understatement of taxable income or intentional non-payment of due taxes to reduce tax liability. Tax evasion can be punished by both civil and criminal penalties, and tax avoidance is not. Tax evasion or tax fraud is a serious offense under Income Tax Act 1967. Based on enforcement activity by the Inland Revenue Board in Malaysia, the average tax adjustment and penalty imposed continue to increase as stated in the Inland Revenue Board Malaysia 2017 annual report. In Malaysia, the individual with business income group is the second largest group of taxpayer, which cover 25% of the total population of the registered taxpayer.
Okay, now we will go to the tax compliance behavior. Understanding tax compliance behavior can help. Understanding tax compliance behavior can help the tax authority in selecting audit cases that potentially increases incomes. By implementing the correct strategy, it will help reduce cost of compliance among taxpayers and tax authority at the same time. The use of actual data will benefit the tax compliance study, as the actual compliance study possibly vary from attitude derived from the study factors. Okay, now we will go to the tax appointment of tax agent. Tax agent will moderate the association between attitude and tax compliance behavior. Tax agent also deal with taxpayer conflicts when the tax system is tough to be unfavorable, or when the taxpayer feels that their tax payment does not provide them with a benefit that is reasonable. Okay, now we will go to the three major factors and the concept of attitude. According to the theory, there are three major factors. The first factor is attitude towards a behavior, social norms upheld by close friends, and the second factor is perceived control over the behavior, and the last factor is to determine whether someone intends to engage in a particular behavior. For the concept of attitude is frequently used because it can be justified by a person's environment. Okay, now we go to the last point. There is 5 category of belief regarding the outcome of evasion. Number 1 is minimize tax paid, and number 2, engage in illegal behavior. And number 3 is feel guilty, and number 4, incur penalty. And the last one, affect fairness of tax paid.
Okay, now I will talk about tax compliance. What is tax compliance? Tax compliance is the degree to which a tax complies, the taxpayer complies with the tax rule of this country. For example, by declaring their income, filing a return, and paying the tax in a due in a timely manner. So why the tax compliance is important? It is to identify the effects the taxpayer of the behavior of the taxpayer. And why the study on this tax compliance is important? It is important because it can explain the psychological and behavior mechanism that determines taxpayers' compliance level in order to improve tax compliance. How the tax compliance is measured? It is measured from 4 main areas according to compliance outcome, which is reporting, the registration, filing, and payment. So that's the rule of tax agents have moderating effect on the relationship between attitude and tax compliant behavior. Yes, the tax agent can influence individual tax assessment. The appointment of tax agent is expected to moderate the relationship between attitude and the tax compliance behavior. And the last one is that tax agent can advise and give a professional service to the taxpayer for non-compliance act.
So our last segment is conclusion. Our conclusion is our presentation provide useful enriched assessment process which helps improve case selection process by the tax authority. By undertaking the owner managing capability in managing tax, it helps the tax authority understand the areas that concern taxpayer in decision making process. Then our point of view towards this article is to provide the tax authority greater understanding on compliance trend and foresee the important areas for the future improvement in providing service and increase tax compliance. Thank you.